Hello everybody, welcome to Pralines, Deliciousness from the World of Art. The protagonist of this episode is Medhat Shafik, born in 1956 in El Badari on the banks of the Nile River. The youngest of 8 siblings, Medhat Shafik has a magical childhood rich of convivial moments with friends and relatives. But above all, he enjoys listening to the stories of his elder brothers whose experiences of living in Cairo have turned into some sort of fairy tales for the little child. Like his brothers, Shafik moves to Cairo for his studies, and all that has to do with creativity, painting, sculpture, poetry, fascinates him, even though more than anything else, it's through the theater experience that he comes into contact with the great international literature. It's not by chance that once at the Praline Academy of Fine Arts, he decides to get a diploma in painting and in set design. Right at the beginning of his illustrious career, he stands out for his enthusiasm in front of the artistic languages so close to his world. Picasso, Chagall, Kandinsky, Klee. Moreover, he is greatly interested in Giacometti's existential experience in action painting and in Rauschenberg. In other words, he is creating his own style with distinctive characteristics. First of all, his works, rich of expressivity, materiality, and physicality, possess a kind of aura vacui, a striking feature of Middle Eastern decorations that tends to occupy all the surrounding space. Alongside this expressivity, his works also highlight a meditative, almost spiritual dimension. Then, Shafik views his artwork as the narrative of his life, of his memories, that becomes part of man's long journey. Another characteristic of his art making is that he utilizes discarded materials from the consumer society, such as used wrapping paper, pieces of wood, and old doors salvaged from demolition depots. What's more, along the beach, he picks up branches, stones, pieces of glass shaped and smoothed by the sea, on which he bestows a new dignity. Finally, he underscores the concept of agora, the birthplace of civilization and democracy, where people exchange goods and ideas. His intention, or much better, his alchemy, is to kindle dialogues among cultures. Shafik transfers this concept onto his works, each of which can be considered as the meeting point of diverse cultures, in particular those he knows personally. These are components of his masterwork titled The Ascetic's Path, realized together with 2 other Egyptian artists that honors him with the Leone d'Oro alle Nazioni Prize at the 1995 Venice Biennial. As stated in the title, it represents a path created inside the Egyptian pavilion amid an array of sandstone sculptures, big paintings, and materials such as bricks, earthenware, glass ampoules, spices, which conducts the spectator from darkness to light. On such occasion, Shafik's genius is manifested in a total artwork where visual, tactile, olfactory, auditory experiences are harmoniously involved. This feature is also exceptionally pronounced in other installations, namely the Silk Road in Como, Nests of Light in Spoleto. Afterwards, Shafik has become a recipient of other awards. Among them is the Nile Grand Prize at the 2003 International Cairo Biennial. It's also worth mentioning the installation named Provisions of the Wayfarer, realized for the show titled Identities and Nomadism, where the protagonists are big, colorful bales reminiscent of the storehouse of his father, a merchant of cotton. His art making is a so-called amalgamation of tales and stories, memories and visions, ancient Egyptian art, and the European avant-garde of the 20th century. All these elements are fused in a meta-historical, mythical dimension. It doesn't mean the escape from reality, but rather it voices a detached and critical viewpoint towards our society, a concept embedded in the installation titled Invisible City at Palazzo Forte in Verona. This title, taken from Italo Calvino's novel, evokes a dream of a polis that represents a space of comprehension, of sharing, and of the common good. The great installation I'm presenting you was realized in 2013. It's entitled Archaeology of the Spirit. Meditating on man's destiny, Shafik puts forth his idea of a possible new world order starting from ethics, from the infinite space existing in each of us. In his attempt to trace his ancestral roots, Shafik engages himself to tell his spectators the story of humanity, with a view to conferring on them a universal message of tolerance and of mutual understanding. I stop here. Thank you for listening. Don't miss the next episode of Pralines, Deliciousness from the World of Art.